Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anthony Momodu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Iconsat. Reports gathered say there is a heavy security presence at the National Assembly complex as President Ahmed Tinubu is set to present the 2025 budget to a joint session of lawmakers. Senators and members of the House of Representatives were seen arriving at the Green Chamber, where the joint session will take place as early as 8 a.m. Also, all business operators and auxiliary service providers have been shut down from business by the National Assembly management, while visitors and non-essential staff members of the National Assembly were instructed to stay home until after the budget presentation. Only staff members on essential duty and with accreditation are expected to report to work, with only a few reporters allowed. On aviation matters, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, says the Fly Nigeria Act will transform into law under his watch. The minister, speaking at a one-day stakeholders engagement on the legal framework for the Fly Nigeria Bill and related enabling legislation in Abuja, lamented that the document, which is expected to make it mandatory for government-financed air transportation of government personnel, contractors, guarantees, and properties are to be carried by Nigerian air flag carriers, has yet to materialize more than 15 years after it was first proposed. Keyamo said he would rally all the major stakeholders to push for the bill to be signed into law. Also, the Minister for Aviation, Festus Keyamo, has hailed the proposed Abia Airport at Nsulu as a veritable enabler for socio-economic development. Speaking at the flag-off ceremony for the project, Keyamo described Abia as the heartbeat of industrialization in the southeast region. He noted that the airport, when completed, would boost social and economic development in the state. The minister explained that the project was initially conceived as an airstrip by the federal government, but was upgraded to a full-fledged airport due to the state governor Alex Otti's intervention and commitment, assuring timely completion of the airport as well as promising priority appointment and employment opportunities for Nsulu community members. Meanwhile, no fewer than 13 communities in Nsulu, Isiala, Agu, North local government area of Abia State have protested against the proposed siting of Abia Airport in their villages. The communities, through their council, Sylvester Okonkwo, in a petition to the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace, the Inspector General of Police, Director General of the Department of State Services, and the National Security Advisor, say the project, if not urgently stopped, would render millions of the inhabitants with no place to farm in order to feed their families, while other suitable areas had already been acquired from the same people by previous administration. They argued that an airport cannot be sited on a heavily populated community without consideration of its environmental impact assessment. They stressed, however, that they were not opposed to the airport project, but that an area already earmarked should be used instead of citing such a project in densely populated area with its attendant health implications for inhabitants, warning that the objection to the present location, if ignored, would amount to the destruction of communities and lead to irreparable damages. A three-day national conference organized by the Progressive Institute of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, has kicked off in Abuja. The party's national chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, emphasized the imperative of empowering the nation's youth for opportunities created by the government. The conference continues till Thursday. President Bola Tinubu has appointed international development expert Aisha Garba as the new executive secretary of the Universal Basic Education Commission. In a statement by the special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, described Aisha Garba as a seasoned education specialist with over 24 years of experience in designing and implementing impactful education programs across Nigeria and beyond. Tinubu expressed confidence that Garba's appointment will drive the administration's vision of providing quality basic education and ensuring Nigerian children are equipped to compete on a global scale. The Jigawa government says it has uncovered over 6,000 ghost workers in its staff verification exercise in the state. State Commissioner for Information, Youth, Sport and Culture, Segil Musa, said that the report of the statewide staff audit biometric data capture and validation exercise showed that 6,348 ghost workers had been detected and saved over 314 million naira monthly. Musa noted that the State Executive Council had studied the report and approved the establishment of the Continuous Capture Center at the office of the Head of Civil Service. Gender-based violence has been one of the most common social problems in Nigeria, affecting mostly women and girls across ethnic, religious, and social boundaries. Global Television correspondent Sharon Ajay spoke to members of the public on how gender-based violence affects the society.
Globally, gender-based violence has predominantly been associated with women and girls, which often overshadows the experiences of men who are also victims of gender-based violence.
I don't think it's restricted to just to women, but I think for the women it's more common. It's on a higher percentage than what, compared to men. Okay.
But we live in a society where, a woman can hit you, but a man can't really hit back. So if a man is to find himself in such a situation where he's being abused by his partner and he can't really hit back or speak out, that has a long-term effect on men. I think more effort should be made towards educating people on such happenings. Yeah. Okay, sure. Thank you.
That was amazing.
That's all. That was good.
Not that men doesn't go. There is, because I know some men went through if you go to all these some big famous schools, you see some lecturers that want to have affair with fellow men. You get, so there is space in higher institution. You can see it in workplace. Okay. You get, but inside of women is more. But it's so obvious in the side of women, but men it's not that obvious. You can hardly detect that of men, but it's happened. Just 20% out of it.
While some offenders have been locally prosecuted, women have urged that the government look into a working law to incarcerate offenders for a period of time.
I don't feel they're actually being persecuted to serve as a deterrent to others. So for me, I don't feel it is the way we talk about this thing. I don't feel we are giving so much energy to it to persecute.
Once someone is arrested, before you know, the person will be released. So the person has not passed through the persecution. So I think that they should persecute them very well so that the level of the crime will reduce in Nigeria.
Thank you.
It is essential to acknowledge that gender-based violence affects individuals of all genders, and that both gender recognition and support are crucial in addressing the issue. Sharon Ajay, reporting for Global TV News.
The Lagos State Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps has advised motorists and the public to exercise caution following a road traffic crash on the Kara Bridge Beja along the Ibadan-bound section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The crash, which occurred in the early hours of Wednesday, involved a trailer carrying containers that fell, narrowing the lanes and creating significant traffic gridlock. The FRSC, in a statement signed by the Lagos Sector Commander Kehinde Hamzat, urged motorists to remain calm and avoid actions that could aggravate the situation. The agency noted that some impatient drivers worsened the situation by driving against traffic flow on the Lagos-bound side of the road, further disrupting traffic in both directions. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has directed an immediate full investigation into a case of a young man reportedly sentenced to death by hanging for stealing a fowl. This was contained in a statement made available to newsmen by the spokesperson to the governor, Olawale Rashid. According to the statement, the state governor ordered the Attorney General of the state to intervene in the matter and ensure the young man is listed for the prerogative of mercy before the end of the year. Recall that an Osun State High Court sitting in Ikurun had sentenced Shegu Olowokere, who was 17 years old at that time, for robbing a poultry farm in Onya Odo Utin local government area of the state. He was said to have stolen a fowl and eggs. You're watching Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When Midday News returns, data from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission shows federal government electricity subsidiary rise to 199.6 and 4 billion naira in December. Details of this as well as foreign and sports stories coming right after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from the breaking business. Data from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has shown that monies paid by the federal government as electricity subsidies increased 199.6 billion in December 2024. According to the newly released report, electricity subsidies rose by 2.76% to 199.64 billion naira this month, from 194.26 billion naira in November. NEC explained that the rise in the exchange rate, which it pegged at 1,687,000,000, the increase in inflation to 33.9%, and changes in available generation capacity necessitated the minor review. While Band A customers continue to pay 209 naira per kilowatt, tariff for customers in Band B to E were allowed to remain frozen at the rates payable from December 2022. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has restricted point-of-sale POS agents to daily transaction limit of 1.2 million naira. This was revealed in its circular to cash out limits for agent banking transactions signed by Oladimeji Yisa Taiwo for the Director, Payment System Management Department. According to the circular, the development is in the Apex Bank's effort to advance a cashless economy. Part of this policy intervention also set a cash withdrawal limit per customer at 500,000 naira per week, and all agent banking terminals are now set to a daily maximum transaction cash out limit of 100,000 naira per customer. And that's how we call it a wrap on Midday News. I am Anthony Momodu. Good afternoon.